You're in the field house with the Clack Academy.
All about the ball. Yeah. Tonight, we find a way.
And they knock
A-plus content.
County
Authentic stories.
to be the 7A
Actionable takeaways.
We're going to attack them like they've never been attacked.
This is the Field House Podcast.
Coaches, welcome back to another episode of the Field House. Here we are again in week 8 of our Clack's Corner series. So excited to have both Coach Mash and Coach Clack back with us today. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Fantastic. Just wrapped up a good little session in the weight room with the guys. All right. Got fall break starting tomorrow. So a little break for everyone as we get back to it.
Hopefully you guys can get rested, get healed, get ready to go so we can finish strong. I want to jump right into it because obviously as we left it, Norcross was a big game for us, and there's no other way to look at it other than the fact that was just a really tough loss. 22-16 came down to a late drive in the fourth quarter. We had 1st and 10 on Norcross 11 and just couldn't punch it in. Coach, if you wouldn't mind, just walk us through those last 2 drives during that fourth quarter and kind of give me your perspective on what you saw.
I mean, as we look back, 2 weeks ago felt like we really outplayed an opponent for the bulk of the game. And it was the critical plays that accumulated more points, for that team than us, which obviously indicates the winner and the loser. But you still walked away feeling like, man, we really outplayed them in a lot of ways. And it's not hard stretches to imagine that game going your way more times than not, that specific game. I think even more so as I look now at the Norcross game. So that's back-to-back weeks of that. And that's really, really hard, when you have that one time and now 2 times back-to-back. And like I said, even more so in this game because we led for the large majority of the game. I mean, and sometimes by 2 scores. Took a 13-7 lead at half, built that to 16-7, and then, started to feel the momentum shift, and Norcross takes their first lead of the game in the fourth quarter. There's some facts that you look at, and whether it's a right, wrong, it's not about right or wrong. It's, like in these moments, what's true? And one thing that is true is we're playing a lot of guys both ways. And we're asking a lot. And we've talked about that all year. I mean, it is just a fact of the construction of the roster and where we are. And you can really feel that starting to stack up. Plays where we were moving, maybe moving the ball and pushing the pile a little bit on offense. We're not getting that same push and vice versa. Our defense was stifling all night. Fantastic. But now all of a sudden you're starting to see maybe a little more yards after contact or a little bit bigger of a crease. And you just feel that momentum. And we just really struggled on offense. A, to finish early and to turn field goals into touchdowns. And then B, in that second half after the first drive, we went in a little rut with a couple of 3-and-outs and some non-productive drives, adjusting to their adjustment. Mm-hmm. So as we get the ball back, we have 2 drives, and both drives we start moving the ball, and it was awesome. It's win this moment. I remember looking the guys in the eye in the huddle. I was like, hey, look, let's go make a memory, right? Play this play, then the next, and you really saw it. I mean, and KJ, who had been limited for much of the game due to the hamstring that he was dealing with, and we were kind of saving him for those moments, and we get him in and that second to last drive in some wildcat situations, and we're starting to see a little extra spark. We're moving the ball, we're flipping the field, we bust a big play to get into the red zone, and sure enough, holding call. So now you go back, and it's like, okay, we can't really stay in that package because we need to be ahead of the chain, so we adjust, and it kind of leads to that drive fizzling out. Defense comes right back on 3-and-out, boom. One of their biggest weapons. And we talked about it all week, and it showed up big, and just fielding a punt when it's punted that way. This guy has a monster leg. Stick Jaleel back there. He does. He outkicks his coverage. Jaleel has to go back over his shoulder, make the catch. But, man, the strain and the effort of the guys on the punt return unit, opening up space for Jaleel, and all of a sudden you start to see him. He makes a guy miss. He turns the corner. He's got space. He's moving. He's crossed the 50. Sure enough, the guy who comes out of nowhere to save the game for Norcross is the punter. And he runs and makes a heck of a tackle. But we flip the field. We're in plus territory. And here we come, and we get the ball down. And I believe, there's roughly 50 seconds, no timeouts. And we're going to have 4 cracks at the end zone. something happens, one play where a route maybe doesn't get executed and the ball goes sailing, and then two or three of those plays are very close. Fingertip to contested ball. You could see that ball being completed, and then it wasn't. And without getting into too many specifics, from play calling to individual performance, as we look back at it, it's still a little bit of the same message. It's these guys are experiencing these moments really almost to a man on this level for the first time. Last year when you played Brookwood, it's 50 something to 14. There's not many moments to be had there with that type of pressure. When you played Norcross, it's 30 to nothing. It's not many moments to be had there. Even our season, if you think about it, we've either won big or we kind of were put away in the fourth quarter. And so back-to-back weeks, we're having these moments, and different guys are getting opportunities, and they're seeing where those margins are in those inches. If we go back and really talk about the teaching of the route and the timing and all of those things, if we did this and this, maybe we create a little more space to where we're not asking you to make a contested catch. You're making that catch without the DB, being even in it, and then just going back to, winning that moment. And there were just a couple of key moments in that where, Norcross completed a really, really good fade ball on the sideline with great coverage. They made that play. They made that play. And so we're still just trying to get ourselves. We have the ability. I don't question it. It's how do we, make the time, find the time, build it, make sure that the practice reps are as meaningful to put them in these situations, to make them more prepared for these moments when they matter the most. And we're just going to continue to work through it and grind through it.
You called this out before, but these are back-to-back games now where it seemed like Parkview, you're going to win 80% of those games. But yet back to back, we've come up short. How do you keep the guys focused and keep them, moving forward to see the bigger picture and get them prepared and ready to make those plays you're talking about?
This is where it's all tested. Everything. When we go big picture culturally, we talk about that at length. Brotherhood, effort, toughness. It's tested in adversity, and there's different levels of adversity, right? I mean, this is other than your season ending and there's nothing left like that. There's not much, stronger adversity than what you're facing. And to your point, I think what you're getting at is this is a different type of adversity too, because everything is not lost. There's still plenty of things to play for to extend our season and to keep our goal, right? Play as many games as possible. But we have really, really limited those chances now for the first time, I believe, And so how do you make sure that going back to what you believe in, going back to what you stand on, which is the most important thing, the mission of this program is integrity, building young men of integrity and representing that. We have to do that as leaders, as coaches, and demonstrate it first to our players. And the message is this: there is still work to be done. There is clear work to be done when you think about the big picture. And what I stated from day one, this is a long-term vision that we're trying to implement here. In year one, you got to prioritize and make some decisions and understand that this puzzle is not going to be near completed in the first 360 days. That's a fact. Man, there's no way around it. I was blessed to be able to inherit. I was thinking about this last night, and I want to bring it, and I've said it before. Please don't take this any other way. I was blessed to inherit a lot of the coaches that were here. I've literally brought in maybe 2 coaches from the outside due to other circumstances, due to lack of funding, due to lack of time, due to lack of teaching spots as part of building a staff as a high school team. I have coached collectively 0 snaps with the coaches on this staff, prior to this season. And we're putting this together in real time. If you go all the way back to the spring, some coaches are really starting to talk scheme for the first time, all the way through the summer. I hope to God every coach, when I ask them, what would you do different, will have a laundry list of things that they know now about how we've built things. Now, I believe, too, that the list of what we did right is going to greatly outweigh that what we're going to do different. But that is all about every year you're going to go back and iterate and think and reflect. Okay, now knowing what I know now, and knowing who's coming back and what we should project forward for the next season. How can we do some things a little different? And how are we going to be a little bit more prepared as we enter the season, as we get through week 2, as we get through week 4, as we get through week 6 and 8 to these moments to be as prepared as possible. And again, each week we're coming out of this and we're like, man, okay, yep, got to go back. Why was that not in? Gosh dang it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make sure we get that in this week. And again, I hope that doesn't sound like an excuse because I'm owning it. Oh, there are things where I wish we had this play to call or maybe, and even in real time, well, we had this in the menu, man, if I could go back, I'd change that. Oh, I wish I worked this situation with them already. So we're still playing catch up with that. I always say it's a crock pot, not a microwave, and it's going to take what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
So as I think about that, a very long-winded way to get back to what's the message to the team. One is, there's it's kind of twofold to me right now. One is, there's only going to be one team that finishes this season hoisting a trophy. So everybody else is going to have regret. But you will not have, everyone else will be a little disappointed. But you will only have regrets if you don't finish what you started in the best possible way you can. And there is plenty to still finish. There is plenty of work to be done for you seniors so that when you look back on this, guys, again, I wish everybody could win state championships. They ain't. A lot of people do this for a long time and never win one. Okay. But you're going to remember how you finished it. You're going to remember, hey, man, we had this moment and we still had, 3-4 weeks left to practice, 3 games. And we said, we're going to go out and we're going to play the best ball we possibly can to reach the ceiling of this team's potential as it currently stands. For everybody else in the program, you got to be looking at this thing as this was a building project. There's no way around it. That's what it is. And there is so much that can be done in these next 3 to 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. If we catch some breaks and do some things the right way that are going to set you up for success moving forward so that we're not starting from the same place that we started from last year.
Mm-hmm.
We're building on top of the foundation versus trying to pack and figure that foundation out. And that's where a big piece of my focus has always been, as it needs to be as the head coach, building a program and not just a season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a big message that I don't think is not too hard to sell.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to be willing to sell it, articulate it, and then show, guys, it hurt me. And not going to lie, I needed more than the 24-hour rule. We have a bye week and all this, so that kind of helped. But man, we had film on Monday, gave them a little bit of time off, or a little bit of physical time off. And then Tuesday, we came back yesterday and had a fantastic practice. At the end of the day, it's all about building young men, Yes, we want to win ball games, but the number one thing is to build young men.
Yep.
And we say integrity, so we better model it.
Yep.
And so we're going to come back, face the negatives, not toxic positive. Everything's not okay. No, that's not cool to lose that way. Right? Coaches, players alike. But what we can do is learn from it and grow so that we're more prepared for the next time.
I keep going back in my head to something, Coach, that you've been saying all along, but maybe a little bit more louder these last couple of weeks. And this is a question that gets posed as sort of a challenge, both to the staff and the players, is can you remain committed to the process without being emotionally tied to the result? And that to me is just such a powerful message because it shows vision. It shows us that there is a vision, a process to reach that vision. But if we allow ourselves to be emotionally tripped up by the early stage results of that vision, then we're putting the whole thing in jeopardy and at risk. So it's kind of that, and a lot of coaches say it in a lot of different ways. You just show up and you keep putting one foot in front of the other, or you're always looking for whatever it is, without letting the emotions of the results impact the work that you do on a day-to-day basis, understanding that work you do on a day-to-day basis is the work that will get you to your goal and to your vision. And I think that's just really encapsulates it really well. It's can you stay committed to the process without being emotionally tied to the result? And that's what kind of keeps grounding me these last couple of weeks and gets me, gives me perspective.
Yeah, and it's a really cool opportunity. May not be the best choice of words there because nothing's cool about sitting in this, but when you think about it and you project it out, this is challenging your conviction on everything you stand on. Right? I mean, this is as far as keeping it in the context of sports and sporting events. There's much worse circumstances we could all be dealing with. All right. But this one, this is a tough one now. This is a tough one. To do it back to back. So now you start saying, well, short-term results, it's a matter of perspective. We play this thing out 3, 4, 5 years. It's very short term, right? We play this thing out for another, just in 3 weeks. Well, okay, now it's back to back results. So again, it's kind of how you view it. And I do still believe all of this is short term right now. We are 100% in the building phase. I'm saying it to the guys. This staff will never be as foreign to one another as they are right now. Do you not think that that's going to have a big impact going forward?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I know this season's running out, but we still have time. We still have time. We still have time to improve and get better and set this program up to be the type of program that we all know it can be.
Mm-hmm.
And that keeps me convicted and keeping that one eye as leaders should do, one eye on the present and one eye on the future, and what we're doing and why we're doing it. I'm convicted in the direction. We will sit and analyze and reshape the actual directions every single week, every single year, every single day, because that's the part of it. That's the problem solving. That's the learning, and we're doing it right now in real time in our staff meetings. I mean, offensively, we sat before we went out on practice yesterday. Like, all right, here's some thoughts. Here's some ideas. These are some things. These are some blind spots that we have right now. So when we get in that situation again, we've got better answers for the kids. Maybe these ones work. Maybe it's just another experiment. It is. A lot of this is trial and error. And I was a skillful trial and error. These are things that have worked. These are things that I believe. These are things that are showing up. All right, let's throw it out. Let's throw it out and see what happens. And it was really cool yesterday at practice where you can hear the kids come, oh man, yeah, I get it. Yep. That's going to create some space. That's okay. But yeah, next time we're in that situation, these are going to be new tools in our tool belt.
And I love that perspective. Where you said keeping, your role is to keep one eye on the future, and one eye on the present. And when we talk about this and going all the way back to the blueprint, right, building the blueprint for an empire. One of the key components that you didn't get this year is what happens in the postseason, right? And that's that reflection process where you go back and you think back on the season. You get all your coaches together, and that's kind of the piece that you're talking about that was missing this year. But I'm kind of curious because that's about building the future, and there's no doubt that the trajectory of this program is on a great path. But if I'm a senior right now and I'm sitting here and this is my senior year, right, and we may be looking at a limited number of games left that we have to play, and I may not be lacing back up again after this year, what's the message to that kid right now?
I love hearing Saban talk and listening to things he does, and it came from a great book that I read, and basically it's all about the illusion of choice. Meaning, sure, we've got options all around us. We can give effort, not give effort. We can show up day, not show up day. We can, eat Doritos instead of eating an apple. But we all really know what the right choice is. So there really is an illusion of choice. There is a right way and then there is a wrong way. So if you are a senior and when you look back on this season, what is going to be the ultimate regret? Is it going to be that we didn't make the play against Norcross that gave us a few more games that allowed us to maybe win a playoff game or make a run? Or is it going to be the fact that you committed to something and you didn't finish it? And you had a program that you believe in and teammates and brothers that you made this commitment to, and in your heart, you know what? I packed it in those last 3 weeks, those last 4 weeks. Are you going to regret the play in Norcross that we didn't make? Or are you going to regret the 3 weeks that you let slip by and the experiences that you could have had? And then feeling like as you look back, because you will forever be connected. This team will only exist one time, but this program, will always be a patchwork of this program, a brick in the wall. And it is a very real statement that those who are helping build right now in this current state of the program and what we're trying to do as we push forward will forever be connected to it. You want to be remembered as one of the ones who helped the rebuild, who helped reset that foundation that now the next group and the next group and the next group can build upon? Or do you want to be part of the ones that left? Part of the ones that transferred out over the last 2 years? Part of the ones that decided, it ain't for me? You've already made the commitment to be here. There is no choice of what we do going forward. We come back to work and we grind and we continue to push this forward and build a solid foundation that I can be proud of when I'm an alumni 10 years from now and we come back and Parkview's hoisting a trophy and everybody's saying, you know what? Remember that senior class in 2025 who didn't quit,
Mm.
didn't leave, who showed everybody what real perseverance looks like, what real brotherhood looks like, what real competitive toughness looks like. Remember those guys? Yeah, man. That's what we built from. And we want to tip our cap to them and thank them for everything that they did.
That's powerful stuff. Mash, I want to, again, I always like hearing your perspective on this, from a locker room standpoint, from a player standpoint. What's the mindset you're seeing right now with the players?
So surprisingly, I don't see a different mindset than I saw last week, the week before, the week before, the week before. And I think that's a testament to the consistent message on what we're doing, what we're trying to do. That's not to say there's not disappointment. I don't think anybody showed up on Monday not disappointed, but that disappointment hasn't shown up in lack of commitment or lack of effort. So I don't hear any different language in the locker room than I've heard all season, which is a good thing. It's consistent. Where I'm hearing more and more of the same language that coach is using in our meetings and the way he addresses the team. And so, I think it's just a matter of, okay, we didn't have the results we wanted over the last couple of weeks. So, but that doesn't mean we're not going to show up and do what we're supposed to do this week. And it's just sort of all right, we're going to show up and do it. That's the mindset that I see.
I like to take the opportunity here to again highlight some of the positives, because there's been a lot of positives over the last couple of weeks, and certainly this week I thought the kicking game looked really good. We went 3 for 3 for field goals, which was really nice to see. But want to get your perspective. Any shout outs on specific things you've seen from a player that you like to call out?
Well, yeah, I think you teed that up beautifully. Jonathan Moore for him coming in, being a young, inexperienced kicker who's put in a ton of work this offseason and earned his shot to have a shot, And we opened up the kicking competition, and Jonathan just really attacked that, gave me the confidence that he is ready for his shot in the big moment. And sure enough, I mean, it was the first quarter, and it's a 42-yarder, the one that we haven't really even attempted this year, and he bangs it through. Then we come up in a 2-minute situation, spike the ball, get it, 5 seconds to go at the end of the half, 42-yarder, bangs it through, and then has a third opportunity in the second half, and makes it again. Tip of the cap. I mean, that is bet to the T there, right? I mean, he did not earn the spot early. He was told, you got to work on these things. He continued to work, was patient for his shot, but was also prepared when he got it.
Mm-hmm.
So big shout out to Jonathan there, again, because of the work he's put in to earn that.
And then what about some of the unsung heroes? Always one of my favorite things to hear the names that players that are doing their part that maybe you don't, again, that doesn't show up on a Friday night or doesn't show up on the stat line, but yet are having huge impact on the team.
We talked a lot about injuries. They're going to be a big factor as we get through this run. I mean, we came into the game pretty healthy. KJ being one of our key players was limited. Sure enough, early in the game, JJ goes down, starting O lineman, starting D lineman. So kind of a double whammy there. When he goes down with a high ankle sprain, he's going to be fine, but could not come back in. Another one of our freshmen stepping up and going in and being ready when his number is called again. So big shout out to Aaron Davis there for stepping into that left tackle spot. A big shout out to Lauren Dennis this week. Been playing a lot of really good O-line for us. And really was in my office the other day. I was like, I'd really like to help out on the D line. I was like, you know what? We'll keep that in mind next year. Here I am being short-sighted. But sure enough, defensive coaches and Lauren talk and I look out last week, and he's getting reps in team time and looking good and putting in great effort and played a lot of meaningful snaps over there yesterday. And I just love that, man, because that is a player who's looking at the team and saying, you know what, I think I can help there. And when you start getting more of that permeating through this team, not just, hey, I'm doing my role, I wish they would do better, but no, I think I can help, and I'm willing to put in the effort and the intentionality to do so, and it shows up. So huge props to Lauren there for stepping in and providing additional service to the team.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
and I'll give you
awesome.
one more. I'll give you one more, and this isn't necessarily unsung because it's he plays a lot of plays, but he plays on the line of scrimmage, and so you don't hear those names very often. But Giancarlo Casanova is one of our seniors,
Absolutely.
and he's a guy that just we talked earlier about kind of how do you what's the message to the seniors? Well, he's a perfect example because he shows up, he leads by example, he's always there. I don't think I've ever heard a negative word come out of his mouth, and so that kind of thing can be the glue. Right. And he's a senior. He's got 3 games left in his high school football career, and he is still pouring in and being that glue. That deserves a shout out for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it was great to give him the toughness award this week. He's come up multiple times. Like you said, it's just a stalwart, right? Doing a lot of dirty work in there that people won't recognize, but playing on the interior of both offense and defensive line and playing a lot of snaps, like a lot of guys are, right? And doing a great job.
That's awesome. I love hearing those stories. You touched on a little bit. We're heading into a bye week. What's the message right now for the team as we're heading into this bye week?
Yeah, I feel like it's what we've been discussing. There is no choice. There's a right way to do things, and there's not. And internal message to myself and with the staff of, all right, let's make sure. As kids saying, stand on business or whatever it is. Let's make sure we stand on what we believe in and what we want this program to be. Believe it or not, yesterday, I was telling the coach, I said, yesterday was going to be one of those days, guys, that we're going to look back on and say, man, what a big win. It was the first practice after the 2 tough losses. It's a bye week. It's so easy. Just, you know what, man, we all deserve it. And we do need some time. What else do we need? Hey, let's get some extra juice in practice. So we created competition teams. We got 4 competition teams, and we ended practice yesterday with skill guys rushing the quarterback and the linemen out running routes and covering each other. And you know what? That was very intentional. Hey, let's don't forget, at the end of the day, we're all doing this because it's fun. Make sure we do that. Make
Isn't
sure
it hard to
we
forget sometimes?
Oh gosh. And now these are the moments, because you could go the other way. Let's say you don't do the cardinal sin of just mailing it in as a coach. Would it be real easy to get real negative real quick and come out and just, we're going to grind it, and we're going to not smile again, and guys suck, we suck. No, man, that's not what I signed up for either. Guys are giving great effort. Like I said, there's only been one time. It was after that North Gwinnett game where we had to really have a come. Let's talk about who we are, because turn the scoreboard off. It ain't about winning and losing. It's about what we are trying to do and how we're going to do it. And we're always going to give our best effort. Man, these guys fought their guts out. I'm not mad at them. I hurt for them right now. I want to be better. And we want to help them be better. And as long as they're willing to do that, I'll be here with my whistle on and a smile on my face and a plan for them the best way I know how to build it.
If you want to see the ultimate competitive spirit, put a couple of linemen running routes in cover. That was incredible. I mean, that was high competition.
Yeah, they've been waiting their whole life for that moment.
Day. We're going to practice our punt coverage and making sure we keep it out of the end zone. But we're going to have linemen back there as the returners.
I love it.
I love that. Well, it sounds like you guys are having a lot of fun. But if I could just add a message out there is and this is one that was just told to me just earlier this week. But at some moment, everybody has their last game they play. Every coach has their last game they coach, and you have that last practice that you have. So if today was your last practice, right? If tomorrow was your last game, and you know that going into it, how are you going to play? How are you going to give it your all, right? And just remember that this is a short window that we have that we are blessed to play this game, right? So let's give it our all. Let's finish strong. There's no reason why not to.
And Tad, you may have just summed up my long-winded 1,000-word dissertation of what this team needs to hear, what these seniors needs to hear beautifully right there. That is it. There is no choice, right? Mm-mm. You're going to look back on this in 10, 15, 20 years, and there's only one way that you're really going to look back on it fondly. And it ain't going to be because you won X amount of games. It's going to be the way you feel about the work you did. Time, guys, we got limited time on this earth. Spend it wisely.
With that, we'll go ahead and wrap up real quick. Yeah, no, Coach Clack, if you wouldn't mind, we got some fun planned here for the show in the next, I think, 2 weeks, next Wednesday. You want to tee it up and let everybody know what we're doing?
Yeah, next Wednesday, would love to invite everybody out. Plan is to host a live one of these at Aguilera, one of our tremendous sponsors. Actually taking the staff out there tonight, but would love to have a live show, bring in some of the kids, some of the coaches, and interact with our fans, open up some Q&A. Again, this is not about promoting Coach Clack. This is about promoting Parkview football and helping to better connect and message so that you guys kind of see it's messy. It's not perfect. You're probably questioning some things, the same things that we're going back and we're looking at. Well, I wish it was perfect, but it's never going to be. Mm-hmm. So I love to open that up because I want you to hear kind of what we're thinking, that there's, thoughts and rationale. I hope I can look you in the face and tell you, you know what, like it might not have been the right decision, but it was a thought out one. And I just think this dialogue is a great way to do it. So, and there's no better way to do it than in person, so we can actually connect as real human beings in this digital world.
At a fantastic sponsor as well.
Now, it should be a lot of fun. So if you guys are going there tonight, just make sure they got some tequila left over for next Wednesday so other people can partake. Real quick, since you guys have off on Friday night, any key games you're going to plan on watching on this Friday?
Well, sometimes in the bye week, you use that to go out and scout opponents and things of that nature. But due to kind of Gwinnett County's fall break, our entire region's off. So I'm actually going to take that time to put some time in with my wife. And
Very wise man.
I'm with her because I'm going to tell you, it really is tough on our families and the time that we commit. Very much looking forward to spending some time with her and some friends.
Yeah, you can never underestimate the toll that it takes on a coach's wife. Mash, what about you?
Same answer. Just spend some time with the family.
Love it. Those are the things that matter the most. So, hey, with that, you guys are super busy. Again, as usual, appreciate all your time. Enjoy the week off. We'll connect again next week as we get ready for a big game against Duluth.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys. Coaches, we'll see you on the field.